Welcome to my channel. Simply Speak English. Have you ever wondered why some people speak English with such confidence and fluency, as if it's their native language, while others struggle to put together a sentence? Have you ever felt the deep desire to speak with an American accent, making every word you say sound smooth and natural? What if I told you that with dedication and the right techniques, anyone can speak English fluently with an American accent? Let me take you on a journey, one that will not only inspire you, but also reveal some incredible secrets that will help you master the American accent and speak English with confidence. Picture this: a young man named Jackson, living in a small village, had always dreamed of moving to the United States. But there was one problem: his English. While his grammar was okay, his accent was holding him back. He was afraid that people might not understand him. Whenever he tried to speak, he'd notice their confused looks and awkward pauses. He felt embarrassed. But then one day, he made a decision that would change his life forever. He chose to conquer his fear and transform his English into a language of ease, charm, and fluency. Jackson didn't just want to speak English. He wanted to speak it perfectly. He knew that the American accent was his key to unlocking confidence in communication. Now you might be asking, what happened next? How did Jackson overcome his struggles? Well, here's where it gets interesting. Jackson didn't give up. He started by listening to native speakers every day. He watched American movies, listened to podcasts, and followed YouTubers who spoke with a clear, natural accent. But he didn't stop there. Jackson knew that just listening wasn't enough. He began practicing what he heard. At first, it was tough. The American pronunciation felt so different from his own. Words that were once easy to say now felt like a tongue twister. But Jackson didn't give up. Slowly, he learned to master the sounds, the rhythm, and the melody of the American accent. One of the most beautiful things about learning a new accent is that it feels like you're discovering a new world within the same language. Imagine this: you're saying the same words, but they sound entirely different. They feel different, almost magical. Every time Jackson practiced, he could feel the transformation taking place within him. And you know what? His confidence started to grow. People around him began noticing the change. They were impressed by how natural and fluent his English had become. And here's the best part: Jackson didn't just learn to speak with an American accent. He learned to speak with emotion, with passion, and with clarity. His words no longer sounded mechanical or forced. They flowed beautifully, just like a river carving its path through the land. Now, you might be wondering, how can I do the same? How can I speak English like Jackson, with that American accent and confidence? Let me share with you some of the most powerful tips that Jackson followed to master the American accent and speak English fluently. The first step is listening. Every successful person you know who speaks English fluently didn't get there by just reading books. They listened. Listening to native speakers, whether in movies, podcasts, or conversations, is essential to understanding how the American accent sounds. Pay attention to the rhythm, the intonation, and the way words are pronounced. It's not just about the individual words, but how they are connected in a sentence. For example, in American English, certain words are linked together, almost as if they're one sound. When you listen closely, you'll begin to hear these connections, and that's the first step toward sounding like a native speaker. But listening alone isn't enough. You need to practice what you hear. Repeat after native speakers. Try to mimic their pronunciation and rhythm. Don't worry if you don't get it right the first time. Practice makes perfect. Start slowly and focus on the difficult sounds. Some sounds, like the R sound in American English, can be tricky for non-native speakers. But with practice, your tongue will become more comfortable with these sounds, and your accent will improve. Next, focus on intonation. In American English, the way you say something can be just as important as what you say. Americans have a unique way of stressing certain words in a sentence, which gives their speech a natural rhythm. For example, in the sentence, "I'm going to the store," the emphasis falls on going and store, not I'm, or to learning to stress the right words will make your speech sound more authentic. Now, let's talk about word stress. In English, some syllables are stressed more than others. This is especially true for longer words. Take the word photography, for example. The stress is on the second syllable, photography. Knowing which syllable to stress will help you sound more fluent and natural. So, make sure to focus on stress patterns as you practice. Another crucial tip is to practice mouth movements. The American accent requires certain mouth positions that might be different from your own native language. For instance, when pronouncing the T sound, your tongue should be placed between your teeth, not behind them. By practicing the proper mouth positions for different sounds, you'll find that speaking with an American accent becomes easier and more natural over time. A very important part of speaking with confidence is practicing with others. Find a language partner or join a conversation group where you can practice your English with others. It's one thing to practice alone in front of the mirror, but real conversations give you the opportunity to apply what you've learned in a natural setting. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, everyone does. What matters is that you keep practicing and learning from those mistakes. Let's go back to Jackson for a moment. He didn't just rely on passive learning. He actively sought out opportunities to speak. He found a mentor, an American friend who helped him improve his pronunciation and offered tips. This mentorship gave him the motivation and guidance he needed to keep going. You too can find someone who will support your journey, whether it's a teacher, a language partner, or even a friend who is fluent. Having someone to guide you can make a huge difference in your progress. But here's the secret that Jackson learned along the way. the most important tip of all: believe in yourself. When you're speaking English, it's not just about the words you say, but the confidence behind them. If you're confident, your words will carry more weight. If you hesitate or doubt yourself, that's when your accent and fluency will feel off. Confidence is key, so believe that you can do it, and you will see progress. And remember, language learning isn't a race, it's a journey. It's a journey that can bring you closer to new opportunities, new friendships, and even new cultures. Jackson's journey didn't end when he mastered the American accent. He continued learning, growing, and discovering new ways to express himself. He learned that learning a language is not just about the words you speak. It's about the emotions, the connections, and the stories you share. So, how can you start your own journey? How can you begin to speak English fluently with an American accent? Start by setting small, achievable goals. Practice every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Listen to native speakers, mimic their accent, and practice speaking aloud. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And most importantly, remember that the path to fluency is a lifelong one. Embrace the journey, and the rewards will come. As you continue practicing, you'll start to notice a beautiful change in yourself. Your English will become more natural, more fluent, and you'll feel more confident every time you speak. And just like Jackson, you will find that speaking English with an American accent is not just about learning a skill. It's about unlocking new possibilities for your life. You'll open doors to new friendships, career opportunities, and experiences that will shape your future in ways you never imagined. Now that you've started your journey towards speaking English fluently with an American accent, let's dive even deeper into more tips that will help you succeed. These tips are not just about improving your accent. They're about transforming the way you speak, and with it, the way you feel when communicating in English. The next tip is all about shadowing. Shadowing is a technique where you listen to a native speaker and immediately repeat what they say, mimicking their rhythm, tone, and pronunciation. This method helps you develop your ear for the language and the flow of speech. Pick a short video, an audio clip, or even a scene from your favorite America movie. As you listen, pause the video and repeat after the speaker. Try to match their speed, tone, and energy. It's like being a mirror for the speaker. With time, this will help you internalize the sounds and rhythms of the American accent. Another effective tip is to slow down your speech at first. When you're learning, it's easy to rush through your words, especially if you feel nervous or excited. But speaking too fast can make your accent sound unclear. Instead, focus on speaking more slowly and clearly. This will give you time to pronounce each word properly and emphasize the correct syllables. As you get more comfortable, you can gradually increase your speed. But remember, clarity is more important than speed when you're perfecting your accent. One secret that many language learners don't know is the power of visualizing your words. This means imagining how each word is formed in your mouth before you say it. Visualizing the shapes your mouth makes while pronouncing certain words will help you better understand the mechanics of speaking with an American accent. For example, the R sound is one of the key characteristics of an American accent, and it requires a certain mouth position. By visualizing how to form your mouth to make this sound, you'll be able to produce it more naturally. This technique also works with other tricky sounds like T, E, or L. The next tip is focus on vowel sounds. American English is famous for its variety of vowel sounds. For example, the sound of the letter A in cat is quite different from the A in cake. Understanding how vowel sounds change depending on the word can make a huge difference in how natural your accent sounds. When practicing, pay special attention to how vowels are pronounced. This will make your speech sound more authentic and smoother. Don't forget to practice listening to vowel sounds in native speakers and imitate them.